Friends, I want you to pay attention and listen carefully, because the thing I'm going to talk about is not merely facts. It is a reality that many people decide to overlook. There are individuals living near us who put on the disguise of being human, but they have gotten rid of all that makes a person genuinely human. These are not simply sad people or lost souls. No, these are narcissists who have stepped over the edge into a thing that is darker, much colder, and quite scary. And tonight I will tell you 6 signs that prove a narcissist is no longer human. The first proof is the disappearance of true feeling for others. A real person feels the pain when someone else hurts. We feel like crying when others cry. We suffer when others suffer. This is the bond that ties us together. But a narcissist who has moved past being human does not genuinely feel. They just pretend to care. They look like they are worried, but it is only an empty performance. Behind their eyes, there is no kindness, no sign that they see your suffering. To them, you are not a person. You are simply a mirror reflecting their own desire to be important. The second proof is control that acts like a hunter. This is not simple influencing or gentle persuasion. This is careful, planned-out command. They watch people the way a hungry animal watches its food. They discover weaknesses, problems, and fears, and then they attack. Every word, every smile, every move becomes a tool to force someone to obey. By the time you understand, you are not in a friendship, but in a trap. It is too late. The third proof is constant. Sick lying. For most of us, telling a lie brings guilt or doubt, not for them. Lies are their life support. They change what is real so easily. You begin to question your own mind. They might tell you the sky is not blue and convince you that believing it was blue means you are insane. The truth has no value in their world. Their only loyalty is to the false picture they build, and that false picture only exists for their own benefit. The fourth proof is using up others' emotions. I do not choose those words lightly. A narcissist feeds on the hope, energy, and happiness of other people. They destroy your self-assurance, ruin your goals, and consume your spirit until only an empty shell is left. They do not just hurt hearts, they eat them. The more you give, the more they accept until you're empty and they are full. The fifth proof is a complete absence of right and wrong. People are guided by an inner voice that says this action is right, that action is wrong. But when that voice is quiet, when cheating brings no guilt, when meanness leaves no mark, that is when the human part is gone. A narcissist without a moral sense can betray friends, break up families, or abandon children without a second thought. Seeing that happen is truly terrifying. The sixth and final proof is treating others as less than human. When a narcissist no longer sees people as individuals, but only as things, the change is finished. To them, you are useful or you are easily tossed away. That is all. They judge your value by what you give them. And the moment you are no longer useful, their interest stops. You are not a friend, a partner, or even someone they know. You are a tool, and that is the clearest evidence they are no longer human. Keep these 6 proofs in mind. Remember them, because knowing is your defense. A narcissist may look like a friend, a sweetheart, or a chief, but behind the appearance is something dangerous, empty, and non-human. If you notice these signs, protect your emotions, guard your thoughts, and never forget your soul belongs to you, not to them. When a narcissist loses the ability to feel true concern, it marks one of the most troubling changes a person can go through. Feeling for others is not just an emotion. It is the connection that links one heart to another. It helps us understand hurt, to share joy, to look after others. When that link is broken, what stays may look like a person, but it no longer behaves like one. On the outside, a narcissist may seem to show kindness. They may agree, offer helpful words, or even shed a tear, but it is all a show, a performance meant to hold on to power or change what people think. If you look closely, the cold emptiness behind their eyes shows the truth. They are not feeling with you. They are simply using you. Real concern means placing yourself in another person's spot, feeling their sadness and having a sense of duty toward them. The narcissist who has crossed the line cannot do this. Your pain is ignored, your happiness dismissed, your suffering twisted to make them feel better than you, instead of offering comfort when you are weak. They watch, saving your weak spot like bullets for later. That twisting of kindness is scary. Emotions become instruments. Feeling for others becomes a fake thing, and nice behavior is just a script acted out when it is helpful. Victims often feel unseen, like their cries are unheard and their needs do not matter. To the narcissist, others exist only as mirrors showing their own importance, not as actual people. Over time, this lack of concern ruins relationships, marriages, friendships, and family ties. Without concern, trust cannot exist, closeness fails, and safety disappears. Only a one-sided show and confusion remain. Narcissists can even turn their feelings on and off depending on who is watching. Publicly, they may seem kind and giving. Alone, without others watching, their meanness, lack of interest, and pushing away become clear. This difference leaves loved ones doubting their minds, wondering if they imagined the kindness or caused the coldness themselves. Control that acts like a hunter is another proof that a narcissist has passed beyond being human. It shows they see relationships not as connections, but as chances to command. Unlike normal convincing, which may be rare, their control is constant, planned, and nonstop. People are not persons with feelings. They are supplies, weak points to use, pieces to move. The narcissist becomes a hunter, looking for insecurities, gathering details to use later. They start small, asking innocent questions that are truly meant to collect facts, noticing your worries about looks, job, or history. They save these facts as weapons. Once weak spots are known, control begins. Not clearly, but slowly, like a spider spinning a web. Often the victim does not know they are stuck until it feels impossible to get away. A terrifying part of this control is that it often comes hidden as help. The narcissist may act like they know you better than anyone, like they always know what you need. But this is a plan, not concern. They build trust only to use it as a weapon later. Once they know what makes you feel secure, they also know how to make you feel unsafe. Once they know what makes you happy, they know how to crush that joy. Once they know your biggest hurts, they hold the power to fully use them. The third main sign, constant lying, shows how deeply they have cut themselves off from human goodness. Lying is simple, natural, and never-ending. They can twist facts, change reality, and make you doubt your own senses. Truth does not matter. Their only goal is keeping power and serving their own interest. Using up others' emotions, the fourth proof, shows how they take the very life force from others. Hope, happiness, drive, they consume all these, leaving emptiness behind. You may think you are helping them, backing them, or sharing your life, but in reality they are feeding on you. Lack of right and wrong. The fifth proof proves moral collapse. Cheating, meanness, and causing harm bring no guilt, no thought, no delay. They can destroy trust, family ties, or children's lives without feeling anything. The human voice that whispers this is bad is gone. The final proof is treating people as things. Once people are objects, the narcissist is complete. You exist only to fulfill a need. When that need ends, so does your worth. They have no bond, no shared humanity left. Keep these proofs in your mind. A narcissist may appear charming, loving, or normal, but behind the mask is something dangerous, empty, and without feeling. Protect your feelings, guard your thoughts, and never let your soul be consumed. They hold the power to open up old hurts whenever they want. Victims of this type of control often talk about a strange pattern where they feel both loved and commanded, safe and choked. It is as if the same hand that gives a present can suddenly close into a fist. What makes this behavior so disturbing is the cold planning behind it. Most people, even when they mess up, do not start relationships with the mind of a hunter. They hurt others because of fear, confusion, or weakness, not by plan. But for a narcissist who has lost their humanity, control is not a mistake. It is a way of life, a way of seeing the world, a constant thought about gain and command. They think about strength, profit, and leverage. They judge every connection by how much power they can take from it. When you share a fear, they see a chance. When you talk about a dream, they see a target. And without trust, real connection dies. You start doubting your own instincts, wondering if you are imagining things or being too delicate. But that self-doubt is exactly what they desire. When you question yourself, you give them your power. To them, that surrender is winning. This is the point where their humanity completely disappears. They no longer see people as hearts to love or friends to care for. They see them as prey, as objects used for their own survival. And once a person starts treating others like prey, the spark of their humanity is gone. Constant lying is another scary proof that a narcissist has passed the line of normal behavior. For them, lying stops being a choice and becomes a way to live. It becomes the air they breathe, the language they use, the weapon they carry. When truth dies inside someone, their humanity begins to die with it. Most people lie sometimes, usually to stop shame or conflict, but even then they feel bad, that little inner voice that says you did wrong. The narcissist at this stage feels nothing. To them, lying is easy and needed to keep control. They do not just lie to hide mistakes. They build whole worlds out of lies. Their stories are so real that even those closest to them begin to doubt what is real. They make you question your memories, your feelings, even your sanity. The danger of nonstop lying is how far it goes. It touches every part of their life, personal, work-related, even simple talk with strangers. They lie about success, making themselves seem bigger than they are. They lie about failures, wiping them out completely as if they never occurred. They lie about why they do things, making control look like kindness. They even lie about others, creating doubt to separate people. Gaslighting becomes their sharpest weapon. They do not just deny facts, they attack your ability to see the truth at all. They convince you that what you saw did not happen, that what you heard was not real. This slow destruction of your reality leaves you lost and needing them. What makes this behavior so strange is the total lack of guilt. A child might blush when lying, an adult might hesitate, but a narcissist who lives in lies feels no conflict. They can look straight into your eyes, speak with charm and belief, and never waver. There is no inner fight between truth and lies, only loyalty to the story that gives them power. They weave lie upon lie until the web is too thick to untangle. And when caught, they simply lie again. They change their story right away, adapting like a machine that figures out new results, always prepared, always one move ahead, always hiding the truth. The damage of this lying is huge because trust, the foundation of every tie, breaks. Once trust fails again and again, fear takes the place of love. Victims say they feel trapped in a haze, unable to know what is real. And that is exactly where the narcissist wants them. When truth becomes unclear, power belongs to the person who defines it. Constant lying is more than just not being honest. It is an attack on reality itself. When truth stops mattering and lies become their natural way to speak, they stop being human. They become hunters who live through fake stories, not real connections. And that fake story leaves nothing but ruin behind. Hearts broken, minds tired, spirits used up. Using up others' emotions is one of the darkest proofs of this collapse. It shows a hunger not just for attention, but for the emotional power of others. Unlike normal self-interest, which still leaves something behind, this one leaves people empty. It is the act of feeding on someone's spirit, their hope, and their strength. To the narcissist, people are not partners. They are supplies to feed from. What makes this so frightening is how slowly it happens. They do not always attack openly. They destroy you bit by bit. They chip away at your self-assurance until you barely know yourself. Victims often say they feel completely drained. Every time they talk to them, leaves them weaker than before. Healthy relationships fill you with energy. This one steals it. The narcissist feels good when others feel small and broken. They find security in the difference in power. So they target confidence, attack self-worth, and crush hope when you achieve something. They play it down or take the praise. When you are excited about a goal, they fill you with doubt. When you need comfort, they become cold and distant. Every part of this behavior is meant to starve you emotionally. They make you rely on them for approval, but they never give it. Their goal is not to help, it is to feed. This slow draining can become so deep that the victim loses who they are. They forget what they want, who they are, and what makes them happy. Their feeling of self begins to turn around the narcissist's permission, but that permission comes rarely. Like scraps thrown to the starving, the less you get, the harder you work to earn more, and that keeps you stuck in the pattern. The narcissist's power grows every time you shrink. Each tear, each sign of pain proves to them they have control. That control matters more to them than love, respect, or truth. It is what feeds them every day. The difference between emotional draining and meanness is in its depth. Meanness may be short-lived, but this hunger is constant. They feed on emotion, like it is their only source of life. They start fights, cause disorder, or cause pain just to get a reaction. Anger, sadness, fear. It all gives them power. Being near such a person feels like being drained from the inside. You feel tight, worn out, and empty, as if your very soul is disappearing. That is why it feels so non-human. Healthy connection gives back energy and joy. This one drains and destroys. Emotional draining is not just a fault in their character. It is a deep emptiness. It shows what happens when someone trades feeling for power. They stop seeing others as human and start seeing them as tools. They may still smile, charm, and act nice, but it is all a cover. Behind the cover is a hole that no praise or success can fill. What they want is not love, but total power over emotions. And that hunger eats away at everyone around them. It leaves nothing but exhaustion and sadness. The saddest part is they think this makes them strong. In reality, it shows their weakness, their reliance on others' pain. They have traded feeling for command, and by doing so, they have lost the very thing that makes a person truly alive.